Welcome to the Boston Garden, the home of the Celtics, where today the Boston Celtics play host to the San Diego Clippers, the first meeting of the year between these two clubs. The Celtics trailing the Philadelphia 76ers by a half game in the Atlantic Division, and the San Diego Clippers coming in here one game under the 500 mark. I'm Gary Bender along with Keith Erickson. And Keith, Boston started the year out unscathed injury-wise, and all of a sudden things are coming apart at the seams. Dave Cowens will not play today, but what about Rick Roby as backup?
Rick Roby did a sensational job filling in for Dave Cowens 2 games ago. He had 24 points and 19 rebounds, and then last Friday night he aggravated a groin injury, so he's hobbled up a little bit himself.
We have some people not feeling real well too. Tiny Archibald, and I understand Lloyd Free for San Diego.
Nate Archibald has the flu today. He's going to give it a shot. Lloyd Free has a sprained left ankle. He missed 2 games 2 games ago. He's come back and he's going to see how it is tonight. He's going to give it a shot also.
You know, there's a new rule this year, the three-point play, and we're going to see 2 of the best today, and Brian Taylor, San Diego, and also they have an excellent job by Chris Ford of Boston.
Well, they're both outstanding from the outside. Chris Ford is so good from the outside. His percentage is 48 in three-point attempts, 47 overall. Can you imagine that?
They're number 1 and number 2 as Taylor's hit 66 three-pointers. On the other hand, Chris Ford with a total of 56. The San Diego team is still awaiting the arrival of Bill Walton. What's the latest on him?
Well, there's word from the West Coast that Bill Walton will be back very shortly, that he will be playing in one of their upcoming games as soon as they get back. This is their 6th game, San Diego, on a 6-game road trip. And I know they're looking forward to getting back home.
And on the other hand, Pistol Pete Maravich, he soon will be in the Boston Celtic lineup.
He's on the injury list for the Boston Celtics, and he'll be playing very soon, and you know how happy he's got to be back again.
All right, let's check the lineups. You can see Roby, who has a groin injury, will be starting at center in place of Dave Cowens. This will be the 3rd straight start for Rick. And on the other side, well, that's been the lineup that they've been going with ever since Bingo Smith was picked up from Cleveland.
That's right, and it's a good team. They're playing good basketball. Although they've lost 5 in a row, they won 6 in a row just prior to these last 5.
Bob Rakel, Tommy Nunez, the 2 officials, and the Celtics with the basketball. Archibald, the man who's a little bit under the weather, but he came out, warmed up, and he's ready to go, and he is a key player on this team. Here's Larry Bird, who'll be playing in the All-Star game. Archibald. There's Chris Ford. He's already set up outside the three-point play, and inside we have a foul.
Sidney Wicks overplaying Cornbread Maxwell as Maxwell's trying to get position in the lane. We've got some great matchups out there today, Gary, with Chris Ford and Brian Taylor guarding each other, the three-point experts.
Larry Bird will inbounds the ball, averaging almost 19 points a game. Here's Archibald. This team lost Friday night. They've lost only 4 games at home, but they don't want to lose 2 in a row.
They haven't lost 2 in a row, only 1 time this year.
There's Maxwell, who's leading the NBA in field goal percentage. He cannot hang on, and San Diego will have it. Now, one thing about San Diego, Keith, is they actually have set plays, don't they, for the three-pointers?
They do, as a team, and we're going to see a lot of them today, no question.
And here is all-world Lloyd Free, 2nd in the NBA in scoring, only to George Gervin. There's Bingo Smith. He's been a fine acquisition since being picked up from Cleveland. Backdoor Free, and we're going to have a foul. Moving inside, a foul is going to be called as they undercut Lloyd Free. He's up and limping around a little bit.
He is. I must say that that's a very strange play for a guy with a bad ankle to have to be jumping as high as Lloyd Free can right here. He had to go up high to get that ball, and watch him when he comes down. Right on the back of Chris Ford, and he's trying to protect that ankle. He's hobbling out there now. I just can't believe that they would run a play like that to have the guy get off the ground.
Lloyd Free has just played super basketball. He's averaging over 31 points a game. He's improving. Somebody said the other day, you just can't stop him from scoring.
No, you can't. When he's got the ball, especially when he comes down one-on-one, he's the toughest player in the NBA. One-on-one, he just loves it.
They have a 3rd guard who we'll see a lot of, and that's Freeman Williams, 2nd-year man from Portland State. So they have 3 excellent guards on the San Diego team.
Well, Freeman Williams is capable of scoring a lot of points, as he did in one of their recent games. He had 51 points.
And there he is. You'll see him next Sunday from the Capitol Center. Lloyd Free will be playing in that All-Star game, his first appearance. We'll take a look at those All-Star teams at halftime. 2-0 in favor of San Diego. Archibald free on him. Here's Bird. Bingo Smith playing him tough defense. Into Maxwell. Wicks on him, and Tiny Archibald. Look at the hustle by Archibald.
How about that play going to the offensive boards? One of the things you've got to do as a guard, you've got to concentrate on getting back defensively, but first you've got to keep your man off the offensive boards.
He led them in scoring in that loss Friday night against the Washington Bullets, and he has them tied up here 2-all. 10:38 to go, first quarter. Glad to have you with us. San Diego and Boston, their first meeting of this year. Free. You can see they're setting up that three-pointer. Brian Taylor. Swin Nader, who's done an excellent job rebounding. That's going to be San Diego's basketball as Roby was on the end line.
One of the hazards of going after that loose ball inside when it's bouncing around, it came up and hit Swin Nader right in the nose.
Boy, is Nader having a year. Outstanding year, second in the NBA in rebounds. Here's Free. Ford got a hand on him, and that's the second foul on Chris Ford.
It sure is.
You know, Ford coming in here has played in 398 consecutive games. That is really showing some durability.
It really is. And we have a very strange play right here. Bob Ricker, who called the foul. Lloyd Free, when he went up to shoot that ball, he was hit on the hand, and he, instead of taking it to the basket, he passed it off. But the official has called a two-shot foul.
Continuation, I guess, as Bill Fitch, I don't think was too happy about that.
I don't understand it myself. To tell you the truth, the continuation was the pass.
There's an interesting stat on him, 6.4 assists. He's not been known to be that much of a team player, but he's fitting in pretty well.
He's trying his darndest to do that down in San Diego. He's doing a fine job.
4-2 our score. Bird out to Archibald. There's Archibald. Boy, what a key man he is in this team. He's the guy they can probably least afford to lose. Here's Larry Bird. Nice move.
That's right. It was a beautiful pass from Archibald. It had to be out there far enough so Bird had to stretch for it, and the defensive man went by and allowed Bird to go to the basket freely.
That's the reason Archibald's second in the NBA assist. Three-point play. Bingo Smith from outside.
Well, they've got a team full of three-pointers.
That's not the guy we thought would shoot from out there that much. 7-4 in favor of the Clippers. Roby gets it outside to Bird. Archibald. Roby moving pretty well.
He is.
Archibald with Free on him. Rick Roby. Excellent attitude that he has. And coming away with it is Sidney Wicks. He brings it out to Bingo Smith. Here's Taylor. Boy, he just sets up automatically outside that three-point play. Lloyd Free. Maxwell comes away with it. Archibald to bring it down. His team trailing 7-4. The Celtics, one of the surprise teams this year in the NBA. Larry Bird. And he's fouled as he goes inside.
Nice move by Larry Bird. He's got great instincts. Coming in, he doesn't play like a rookie. He's been doing it all, averaging over 18 points a game, over 10 rebounds a game, over 4 assists a game.
Bingo Smith picking up the foul. Boy, he's been everybody's. Well, they said coming in here, he's one of the great players to come out of college basketball in a decade, and he has lived up to all that billing.
He sure has. A lot of people questioned his speed. That he said he wasn't very fast, couldn't get up and down the floor, but he does adequately getting up and down the floor, but he does so well in all the other areas of the game. He more than makes up for that little bit of.
He's kind of deceptive, isn't he? He gets down there and you don't think he's moving that well.
That's right.
7-6. 1-point lead now for San Diego. There's Free. Boy, can this guy jump. Into Nader, back to Free. Free can handle the ball so well, and there's an example of why he's second in the NBA in scoring.
That's exactly right. If it wasn't for George Gervin, he's got to wake up cussing George Gervin out. Gervin scores so well. Lloyd Free would love to lead the league in scoring.
It's quite a battle. Bird, that'll be, nope, it's a two-pointer. He was not outside the line. Bill Fitz thought he was.
Yeah, he was. Tommy Nunez, he failed to give the sign.
All right, it was a three-pointer. Taylor blocked by Roby. What a play by Rick Roby. Archibald back. Maxwell. That's where he's tough, is inside. He will not get it, though. It's a loose ball foul.
Well, Cornbread Maxwell, he's the best offensive rebounder on the Celtic team. And Rick Roby made a sensational play at the other end. Brian Taylor beat Nate Archibald, took the ball to the basket. Rick Roby timed that block beautifully. Actually looked like he might have pinned it just a little bit.
Boy, Bill Fitch got his point across, didn't he? He wanted to be sure that that was a three-point play, and it was a moment ago.
That's right.
9-9 our score. Here's Wicks, the former UCLA standout. Moving the ball pretty well, kicking into Nader. He can hook with either hand. Here's Maxwell. Maxwell boxing off well on the defensive boards. Archibald, there's a good pick by Maxwell, and they executed that well.
That's just a gorgeous play, and then they broke down again defensively.
And you've got to make a transition against these guys, don't you?
That's what I was saying a minute ago. When Archibald got his own offensive rebound, you've got to block him out, but you also have to be aware of defense coming the other way. Archibald drove the lane beautifully. And that dunk shot by Rick Roby, and then nobody was back defensively.
You know, Bill Fitch said about Rick Roby, the reason he's going to be a good player is he practices so hard, and he's going to improve his game.
When I saw him come into this league, he played with Indiana, and I couldn't believe how I thought he just had all of the tools to be a great player, and they just really gave him up for Billy Knight, who's a fine basketball player.
See what Knight did the other night, though. 44 points.
That's right.
11-11. We're all even. Archibald free on him. Well, they push him outside on the floor, don't they, defensively?
Force him as far out as possible, and out pretty far.
Here's Roby. Nader trying to pick him up. Ford, boy, the minute he sets, they come out on him now. Great respect for his shooting. Bird, Maxwell, and another follow by Maxwell. This time it'll count.
Offensive rebounding. Sidney Wicks must concentrate on Cornbread Maxwell to keep him off of that board.
13-11. This will be a three-point attempt, and Bingo Smith is 2 for 2 from that area.
That's some pretty phenomenal shooting. Bingo Smith has always been a great shooter.
11th year. He's a 33-year-old veteran. He started with San Diego as the #1 draft pick, then went to Cleveland in the expansion. Pushing inside, Wicks picking up the foul as Maxwell made the cut inside.
Right, Sidney's starting to get a little physical with Maxwell. He wants to keep him out of that lane and off the boards. It's just a little too much with the body that time.
Wicks now with 2 personal fouls. Wicks at 6'9". He worked hard in the offseason to improve his plays, averaging a little over 7 points a game. Some talk that Nader might move to power forward when Walton comes back.
That'd be a pretty devastating lineup, wouldn't it?
Here's Maxwell. It was tipped out. Roby will save. 6:51 to go in this first quarter. Archibald, we got a mismatch somewhere. Here's Bird. And they got it off just as the shot clock ran out. 3 off to Taylor, and Taylor pulls up 3-pointer. Well, they put those up as though it's just a matter-of-fact way of playing this game. 14-13, the Clippers. Archibald directing things. Bingo Smith having a tough time with Maxwell inside. 3-pointer. Larry Bird hitting a 3-pointer.
He's got 2 himself.
We may have a record today.
That's right. Phenomenal shooting. I'll tell you, that's tough out there.
It's a long ways out there, isn't it?
22 feet from the sidelines, 23-9 out in front.
16-14. A 3-point play has really helped these two clubs. When Nader can't get it off. Here's the break to Ford. And he saves it off, I think. Well, it's off of the Celtics. It'll be San Diego's ball, and we have a timeout called by the Boston Celtics. 5:58 to go in this first quarter of play. Let's look at Nader's move in the middle.
Looked like it was a foul by Larry Bird right there. The official didn't call it. The ball was out. Fine pass, but they weren't able to capitalize.
Well, already in this game, we've had 4 3-point plays. And I would imagine that is just the beginning here in the Boston Garden as you look at Gene Shue.
Well, you better believe it. The 2 guys that have made the most in the NBA haven't even made one yet. We've had 4 made already in the first period.
That's right. Bird has 2, and Bingo Smith has 2 for San Diego. And San Diego trailing by 2. Bingo trying to tie it up in a foul, and he got hit in the stomach. He's hurting a little bit.
That's really
got a
tough.
foul on Bird.
When you've got a small, Bingo Smith is 6'5", and you say small, you know, comparatively. But when you drive in there, like he's coming across the lane right there, Bird got hit in the face, it looked like, a little bit. Bingo Smith was forcing his way. You see him turn around there holding his stomach. That's tough inside. Those big guys are banging.
Well, they've gotten more physical this year, haven't they? After last year, the 3 officials and the hand check rule, they've gotten back in there, and it's rugged in the middle.
You bet it is. With only 2 officials, it's just natural that they're not going to be able to see as much as with the 3 that they had last year.
7 points now for Bingo Smith, and he's off and moving as he's tied this game up 16-all. San Diego team was kind of a disarming team. Everybody thought without Walton they wouldn't be in the picture at all. Look at this backdoor attempt. Ford tries to save it, and it's going to be, I believe, off of San Diego. The Celtics will have it as Taylor was over there and got the hand on it last.
Brian Taylor making a good effort going after that ball. Couldn't knock it off of Chris Ford.
But if Walton can come back and he can play, this team is very much of a force to be concerned about.
Well, I should say they're only 1 game below 500 right now. 11.5 games behind conference leading Seattle.
Larry Bird on the dish off by Archibald. Roby trying to follow tip. Nader and Roby, what a battle that is, and it's going to be off of Nader.
Can you believe when you've got big guys, strong guys like that going to the boards in there with all of that muscle tipping that ball, and it just barely sits up there on the rim and falls off.
Boy, that Nader, he is one of the strongest men you'll ever see in the league. Here's Bird. It's a 3-point attempt. Roby, left-hander. And Bird battling. Look at him fight for the board. He got it. He's fouled.
What a job. Bird and Maxwell were in there. 2 great offensive rebounders. This San Diego team, that's the one thing they've got to concentrate on. Blocking those guys off the offensive boards.
Larry Bird already has 12 points in this game.
Beautiful left-handed hook shot by Roby. Bird just came through. Nader and Wicks put that ball up on Swen Nader, who picked up the foul.
Bird scoring well. You know, he'd scored at least 20 points 3 times the last 14 games. But today, he looks like he's going to go to that standard in a hurry. 19-16 on the three-point play for the Celtics. From the line as well as from the field. And here is Bird coming up with a good defensive play. Ford to Archibald. Boy, he keeps the tempo going. There's another assist to him as Roby puts it in.
He does. He really gets that ball down the floor quickly. And this year, back with the Celtics, he's really looking for the other man. And that's really an asset to this team.
Keith, remember that year 72-73 he had?
Averaged 34 points a game to lead the league in scoring, and over 11 assists a game to lead the league in assists, both in the same year.
He might be the comeback player of the year.
No question.
Lloyd free. That'll be a two-pointer. I think we're going to designate that all day long, the way these guys shoot.
That's right.
Here's Maxwell for Ford. He can't handle it, and it'll go back to San Diego.
Threw it out of bounds in the three-point area.
You look at this basketball team. Boston last year with 27 wins for the year. They came in here with 36 already. I think they'll be happy to see the All-Star break to get some of their people healthy, as now San Diego calls the timeout. 4:15 to go, first quarter. As the Boston Celtics, after dropping behind early in the game, have now taken a 21-16 lead in the Garden. I think it's an exciting prospect to think these two guys are going to be teammates.
Well, you better believe it. Red Auerbach is extremely excited about that. How about the Cowboy and the City Slicker right there?
You were kidding about the fact that Cowens came in here with a tie on and dress slacks and his green sneakers.
That's right. He's sitting over on the bench with his foot up in the air right now.
He's out until at least the All-Star break, and they miss him. But both those guys are going to be wearing the green and white of Boston. 21-16. The Celtics on top. 4 minutes to go. First quarter. Wicks on the move. Roby battling in there. Boy, he just fights you for everything. Off to Ford. No changes in the lineup as far as Boston is concerned, and that's the same similar situation with San Diego. No substitutions thus far. Archibald, backdoor, intended for Ford, but Taylor was there. Free. That's the thing about Free. You know he's a good shooter, but I don't think people realize how well he handles the ball.
And jumps coming down that time. I said how much he likes to come down one-on-one. That time he was 1 against 2. It doesn't matter. He is really proficient at that when he gets an edge, when he's got that ball. 8
points now for Lloyd Free. Archibald going to take Free in. Two very quick people going against each other. Roby tries to follow Archibald with a rebound. How about that? Out it comes to Bird. Maxwell, Roby, good ball movement, and they don't get the ball to drop. Nader brings it out to Free. Good ball movement. The Celtics on Friday night were not passing the ball that well. Here's Bingo. Bird inside, and he's done a job on the boards, hasn't he?
He really has.
Bird all the way this time. Maxwell follows it. What a follow tip that was.
What an incredible tip. Nice drive by Bird, the length of the floor, taking that ball down the lane. But Maxwell, inside position again, reaching way back and just tapped that ball in.
You look at Maxwell, and it looks like he's not going to get from one end of the floor to the other, but he gets it done, doesn't he?
Both his feet are going in different directions. His arms are too.
Nader kicks it out. Three-point play. Bingo misses his first of the afternoon. Here comes Roby. Ford. And you can see how quickly you've got to make the transition to the other end, or you're going to be caught napping. Here's Bird. Boy, did he look tough there.
There was a mismatch that time. Lloyd Free was guarding Bird, and that should never happen out there. And the Celtics took advantage of it.
Bird already with 15 points. Bingo Smith going back to the other end.
Gene Shue was standing up as Bingo came down 1 against 4, and Shue saying, hold the ball up, but Bingo never heard him. And then, of course, Gene Shue sat down and said, nice shot, Bingo.
Just the way I called it.
That's right.
5-point lead now. Archibald Free with that ankle, staying with him pretty tough. Ford in trouble. Out it comes to Taylor. Bingo, 2-on-1. Smith again, and Smith is having an excellent first quarter of play.
Oh, he sure is. That was a beautiful drive coming down that time against the much taller Larry Bird. Watch him put this move on Larry Bird. Jumped into him a little bit. Bird had to retreat. Bingo dropped that ball through.
He has 12 points. Bird has 15 for Boston. The high point men for the respective clubs. Roby on an assist from Archibald.
Nice pass by Nate Archibald. Most guys in this league are going to be able to knock that shot down when you're wide open like that.
6 points for Roby. Archibald just generates all kinds of things. What a catalyst he is. 27-22 the score. Free. Ford can't handle him.
Well, you talk about generating a lot of things out there on the floor. When Lloyd's got that ball, everybody must beware.
And Maxwell Boy, how did he get down there so quickly?
That's right. By watching him, you can't believe it that he got down on that break.
Cornbread Maxwell, he is leading the NBA in field goal percentage, 62%, and it's shots like that that help your percentage.
I'll tell you, that's about the best percentage shot ever.
Here's Wicks. Maxwell on him. 47 seconds to go. First quarter. Bingo with Bird playing the tough defense. Free with the ball and 2 more points.
Oh, he's just so tough. He protects that ball with his body so well, and little Nate Archibald had no chance to jump with him that time.
He's had 49 points, and that hurt. Oh, did that hurt? Archibald really hit the deck as the penalty will go in. Boy, he just didn't protect himself at all on that play.
That's the kind of a play where you can really hurt yourself trying to get through 2 men with those knees sticking out on either side. Oftentimes you get hit right in the thigh. Let's see if we can pick it up. Lloyd Free and Bingo Smith out there. Lloyd Free got him. He fell heavily to the floor, holding his leg like he has a Charlie horse.
And they still suit Maravich up before the day's over. They're fast running out of people to play.
Well, he's on the injury reserve list.
I say that facetiously,
That's right.
but you know, Archibald is the key, and they've said all along if anything would happen to him, they didn't have anyone to go to. That's where Maravich could play a very key role.
Oh, that's exactly right. A ball handler and a floor leader out there. Archibald is just, everybody talks about Larry Bird and how he's come in and turned this team around, but you've got to give credit to Nate Archibald, to ML Carr coming in, Maxwell, who's playing so well. Of course, they all blend so well together. Bill Fitch has had a big part in getting them to play together.
Here's Archibald. He'll have 2 shots coming. The penalty in at 31 seconds to go in this first quarter. 29-26. You know, we've talked about Archibald, the fact that he's doing well in the assist department. He's shooting 80% from the line. He's hitting about 48% from the field. He's just done it all. And the thing is, up to this point, he just couldn't stay in the lineup. He'd played 100 games, I think, in 3 years.
Well, you know, he weighs 165 pounds, his playing weight, when he was playing before, and he had that ruptured Achilles tendon. He was out for 1.5 years or so with it. Very, very serious injury. He went up to 205 pounds.
That's hard to believe.
It is for a small man like that.
Here's Free kicking it out to Brian Taylor. 14 seconds left now in this first quarter. Joe Jellybean Bryant, 23, is checked in, brings it out to Bingo Smith. They're going to take the last shot of this first quarter. 3-point play. Nader follows, and that would have counted had it dropped, but it did not. And so the Boston Celtics, who lost here Friday night, only their 4th loss at home this year, have the advantage here after the first 12 minutes of play as they lead it 31-26. Well, there he is, Nate Archibald. As we said at the start of the show, Keith, he has the flu, and this is a tough game to play when you're healthy.
Well, I should say, one of the prominent athletes, I don't remember who it was just quoted as saying that. It's really tough to play when you're hurt. He said, heck, it's tough to play when you feel good. Nate Archibald doesn't feel good out there today.
Dave Cowan's going over there as we see now Gerald Henderson coming in to replace him.
Henderson is quite a surprise. Boy, he's played awfully well for the Celtics, and they figured they were really hurting in the backcourt. Done an admirable job.
Look at the shooting there. Boston by far the better from the field.
And San Diego only 31%. That's really a shame.
So as we come back in with the basketball is Bryant. He gives it off to Nader. As far as changes are concerned, also coming into the game is Freeman Williams, and that's Williams on the baseline. Tries to give to Nader. It's like a volleyball game here. Bryant forced his shot, but he had the shot clock running out. Bingo Smith. Nader. Boy, he's having a tough time with Roby in there.
He really is. Having a tough time grabbing that ball. It's like he can't get the handle on it. Roby's doing a fine job, though, keeping body contact with Swen Nader. You've got to do that.
Good balanced scoring in this game as far as San Diego is concerned. Both Free and Smith had 12 points after the first 12 minutes of play. 31-26, and Maxwell is the intended recipient of that ball, but couldn't get there.
Trying to keep Jelly Bean Bryant off of his back. He was leaning into him. Bryant moved back a little bit, and Cornbread fell to the floor as the pass went by.
They picked up Bryant for a #1 draft pick in 1986 from Philadelphia. Has he played all that much, Keith? What's been the story with him?
He played quite a bit at first, as Larry Bird makes a beautiful steal from Bingo Smith.
Boy, Bird is really playing a game here in his first half of play with 17 points.
That's right. For a player that has no quickness or speed, he's doing a fantastic job.
There's Bryant, who played at LaSalle. Off to Freeman Williams, who led the NCAA in scoring both his junior and senior years at Portland State, and this is Williams. They're not getting that ball to drop. They've had some good percentage shots. Here comes Henderson, and Bryant have a collision, and we have a jump ball.
Nice heads up defensively by Joe Bryant that time. The ball was loose, diving for the floor. You don't see too many players these days dive. I like to see it.
Henderson is the guy who played in the Western League for Tucson, where they won the championship and got a second life. And he's taken advantage of it. He has found a home in Boston. Here's Williams at the other end. Nice touch.
Well, I'd say you'd have to have more of a break than just touch on that shot. That almost stopped on the top of the backboard and then fell back through.
You could have taken a vote on that one before it came through. 33-28. Look at the pressure put on by Free as he plays Ford tough. Maxwell has been giving him difficulty inside. Rebound by Free. Bryant that time doing a pretty good job when he got that ball into Maxwell. Free from outside, and he got it, and he's fouled by Ford, and that's 3 fouls now on Chris Ford.
Chris Ford actually hit Lloyd Free that time before he went up for the shot.
And so we're going to have a timeout at the 10:08 mark as Chris Ford is not happy. He's picked up 3 quick fouls, and we still have more than 10 minutes to play in this first half. Well, Keith Erickson, there's a lot of reasons why you win basketball games, but here's the statistic that really jolted me. Thus far in this game, Boston is leading San Diego in rebounding by that amount.
That is unbelievable, isn't it?
I don't remember that, to be honest with you. It's that follow multiple shot thing that they've been getting, I guess, inside that pumped up their rebound total.
That's right. Offensive boards, you've got to keep them off. And Swen Nader has had a tough time holding on to the ball this afternoon.
Here's Free at the line. And Lloyd Free now with 15 points. 2-point lead for Boston. 10 minutes to go until halftime. At half, we'll be showing you the All-Stars for that February 3rd game to be played in the Capitol Center. Here's Henderson. Mismatch somewhere, and they used it.
Oh, what a beautiful job that time. There was definitely a mismatch with the big man inside all by himself. Henderson found himself with a big man on him and passed it off beautifully.
Boy, Roby uses that left hand very well, doesn't he?
He does. It looks like he's ambidextrous with that ball inside.
Here's Free. Cheney now, who can play as well as anyone defensively out there. Gives to Nader. Nader trying to shake Roby. Maxwell comes away with it.
Another rebound for the Celtics. They've got 3 big guys going to the board. San Diego only has Swen Nader, Joe Bryant right now. Joe Bryant.
Nader averaging about 15 a game. Here's Henderson. Coming away with it is Bryant. Bryant at 6'9". Off to Bingo Smith. Bingo became an instant starter with San Diego when they picked him up from Cleveland. Free trying to shake Cheney. Cheney with him. Cheney, those long arms. He had a hand right up in his face on that play.
He needed that same bounce as we had that last time. San Antonio trailing Atlanta 32-24 in San Antonio.
The winner of that game goes into first place in that Central Division. Roby, Nader on him. ML Carr getting ready to come into the Boston lineup. Cheney. And Cheney's only shooting 35% from the field. Maxwell follows, and he's doing yeoman work on the offensive board.
I should say he's the best on the Celtics offensive rebounder. Well, you've got to send a guy in the game that's just got to concentrate on Maxwell. Just keep him off the boards. That's got to be his job.
8 points now for Maxwell. The biggest lead in this game was 7, and now it's at 6 for the Boston Celtics. 8.5 to go in the second quarter of play. Bird respecting that 3-point possibility from Bingo Smith. That's a 2-pointer. He shot that inside the line.
He's got a beautiful jump shot. If there are any youngsters who want to learn how to shoot, Bingo Smith is the guy to watch.
He has 14 points, Keith. His high for the year was 23. He's had that patented rainbow jumper.
He sure has for years and years.
Maxwell to Roby. Roby bringing Nader outside with him. Into Maxwell again. Nader back. He can't block him, but he intimidated Cheney to follow.
Another offensive rebound for the Celtics. Don Cheney does a nice job going to those boards.
Cheney with that long reach of his, and it paid off in that instance. Free picked up by Cheney, and that is exactly what Don's been told to do. You just shadow him out there.
And he does it as well as anybody in this game.
Here's Bryant. Up it comes now to Freeman Williams. Williams with Archibald. I should say Henderson playing him tough. Here's Bingo. That's a 3-pointer. As the shot clock wound down. Here's Maxwell out to Larry Bird to Roby, but Bingo Smith anticipated it. Bryant back. Bingo Smith blocked beautifully by Maxwell. Smith again. Nader tips it out to Bryant. Good hustle by San Diego, but still no points. and Nader gets it.
Oh, great job. It's about time San Diego got on the boards, and they did it that time.
That could turn a game around for you, can't it, when you keep battling like that? There's Henderson, but wait a minute. Away from that play.
Foul on the pass that time. As Larry Bird passed it down to Gerald Henderson cutting down the lane. Well, here's that job that was done. Swen Nader, he knocked Larry Bird out of there that time. Bird kept his feet until Joe Bryant came in, tried to draw the offensive foul. They both went to the floor. Swen Nader doing a yeoman's job. Beautiful offensive rebound. It's about time. And look at him. Where's the foul?
Thus far in this game, Cedric Maxwell, we were talking about his rebounding, has 10 already.
Boston has 12 offensive boards to San Diego's 6.
ML Carr has now checked in for the Celtics, who lead it 39-35. And what a play that time by Carr.
The San Diego bench, Gene Shue was up on his feet, came almost down to half court. He was complaining that Carr was using his arm to keep the defender off, and then the foul was called the other way. Watch Bryant guarding him. ML Carr coming in with the right arm, and now with the left knocks that arm off. The little bit of contact down low, and he gets credit for the 2 points, trying to make it 3.
And Bryant with the foul, and Carr, who's been a sensational 6th man for this team.
In the mold of Frank Ramsey and John Havlicek, he's doing quite a job, and he's part of the reason why they're so successful this season.
Well, that's kind of an honor to be a 6th man in the Boston Celtic tradition. Backdoor, beautiful play. That basket will count, and a foul coming up, but Nader really set Brian Taylor up in excellent fashion.
You don't see too many big guys that can throw that no-look pass. Drop that ball down on the floor. No help out from the weak side, and the foul by Henderson.
Here's a guy that was out of basketball. A lot of people felt it would hurt his style of play, but each month, Keith, he's been picking up his scoring output. His average is climbing as the year wears on.
That's right. Started in October at 12-6. This January, he's up to 17-4.
Taylor now with 5 points for the afternoon. Roby continuing to move Swen Nader out with him. Now tries to take the return pass from Chaney, and you see the quick hands. Nader tender for Wicks, and Henderson can't handle it. And Henderson hit himself in the nose with the ball hitting.
Sidney came through trying to catch that ball. He swung at it, and all he got was a little bit of Henderson's face.
Henderson shaking it off. Wicks backing in on Maxwell. Carr trying to get the ball. Bryant brings it down. Intended for Wicks, and who's that going to be off of? It'll be off of Boston.
That was a smart play by Sidney. Had he reached for the ball and not reached it, the ball would have gone out of bounds to Boston.
Bryant, 18 seconds on the shot clock as Williams has Chaney on him outside. Bryant moving in on Carr, and ML reaches in and fouls him.
And Carr turns around and he said, if I fouled him, it was way on the outside. I didn't hit him when he went in and shot that ball.
ML playing last year for Detroit, becoming a free agent, and a lot of people didn't know about ML Carr, but you're going to hear more and more about him as this year wears on. And the Celtics' success story, you have to give him a lot of credit.
Boy, you sure do. A great team basketball player, and that's what's making them so good this year. They're playing together beautifully.
Here's Bryant at the line. He played for Gene Shue in Philadelphia, as did Lloyd Free. He's picked up some of those 76ers. They've helped this team.
Yes, they have. Joe Bryant is kind of a flashy player, and he said when Magic Johnson came in and all the acclaim that went to Magic this year, he said, heck, what's the big story? I've been doing that for 6 or 7 years now.
Bryant at the line. He's averaging under 10 points a game, and it's a 2-point game, 42-40. Austin with the lead. They've led by as many as 7. Brian Taylor on Henderson. Henderson extremely quick. That's the name of his game. He really moves off the ball as well as with the ball. There's Bird looking for help. Chaney, as they have 8 seconds on the shot clock, they'll let Chaney shoot out there. They'd like to have him take that shot. He doesn't want it. Henderson with 3 seconds on the shot clock.
Henderson has that quickness, but he also shoots the ball awfully well. You can't leave him alone.
Henderson, the guy who was a 3rd-round draft pick of San Antonio in '78 and came here as a free agent this year after playing in the Western League, and nice play to Nader.
Beautiful backdoor play. Swen faked up with his left foot and cut back to the basket. Sidney hit him with that nice pass.
44-42, Larry Bird. Bird having an outstanding afternoon. He looks like he could be headed for one of his biggest days of the year. 19 thus far. Bird comes away with it. Up to Carr. Bird again, and he's doing it all.
Not only Larry Bird does he score a lot of points. Tonight he's got 21 already this afternoon. ML Carr shoots that ball to the basket, and Bird with that great second effort going to the offensive boards. He passes the ball, he rebounds, he does it all.
The other end, Williams. Wicks tries to follow Maxwell, who's been tough on the boards. Comes away with it to Henderson. Henderson, look at him move.
Oh, what a beautiful shot. They're not missing Nate Archibald while Henderson's doing a fine job.
I think this guy's a hungry basketball player.
You bet. They're the kind that make the great players when they come in hungry.
And so a timeout is called. That's the biggest lead of this game now, as they lead it 50-42.
Henderson driving the lane beautifully. Taylor right there with him. He just put that ball off the board, and it just went down like a bullet.
Our statistician par excellence, Father John Creed, indicates that Boston in the second quarters hit 9 of 14. They continue to shoot very well from the field.
They've got such a high statistic. They're taking that ball inside, going to the basket with it extremely well.
We come back in an 8-point lead, the biggest of the game for the Boston Celtics. Wicks having a little trouble getting that ball off to Freeman Williams. Williams out of Portland State, where he averaged over 30 points a game his junior and senior year, and Wicks walked with the ball.
He did. He sure hopped with it that time. Turns around with that incredulous look. I don't believe it, but he did.
So Chaney and Henderson in the backcourt. As we mentioned, Archibald went out. He sustained a bruised left knee, added to the fact that he was not feeling well. He had a touch of flu, so I don't know if we'll see him the rest of the game or not. If not, Henderson has a tough chore as he's in there now. He's played well thus far, and he's taking on Swin Nader in there. Nader gets the best of it. Chaney. That's what Chaney's always done well, is that outlet pass. He's always waiting for it.
Great anticipation that time. It looked like Chaney hit the ball. San Diego should have gotten it. Gene Shue not happy with that call. And all world coming back into the game.
That's 8 turnovers against Boston, 5 against San Diego. There's Free, 24. And Chaney off to ML Carr. 3:52 to go till the end of this first half of play. Celtics losing Friday night. San Diego trying to break a 5-game losing streak, and Bird's on the move. Left-handed.
And he's on his wallet after that shot. Beautiful left-handed shot.
23 points for the Bird, and Free. Boy, you better not count your blessings. You better get down the other end and be ready to play defense.
That's exactly right. Everybody was standing around saying, clapping as Larry Bird made that shot. Nice shot, Larry. Nobody got back on that big D.
Free was 17 points, 52-44. Maxwell, whoops, too tough, but Bird's there to save it. He's doing it all. 3-point play. That was a tough one, as he didn't set up all that well. And a foul against John Chaney reaching in.
Larry Bird really had to rush that shot. He got into that 3-point range. He wanted it to be a 3-pointer, had to put it up quick before the defense got there.
Boy, Bill Fitch, what a job he's doing after coming over from Cleveland. Resigned, and 1 week later, he was here. And I think everyone in Boston land is glad to see that. Pushing inside, Nader and Bird. It's Bird with the foul. Say, a Bird can pick on some people his own size. Swin Nader's not the guy to push off on.
That's for sure. There was a lot of contact that time, and Bird hit the floor. Swin really didn't throw him down on the floor. Bird just lost his footing and fell down, and the foul was called. I don't know how Larry was able to foul Nader on his way to the floor.
The penalty in, that's the second foul on Bird. Ford had 3 quick ones earlier, and we haven't seen him.
See, Bird just lost his footing in there, and then the foul was called on him. I don't know, the first time a foul was called for slapping a guy on the knee. You usually see it on the arm.
I tell you, you're not going to move Nader very much, and that was a good example of it.
That's right.
Look at the arms on that guy. And so Nader able to get the second shot. 52-45 our score. 3 minutes remaining in this first half. Henderson with Taylor on him. Brian Taylor played his collegiate basketball at Princeton. Bird. There is Carr trying to save it. Nader, and he tightrope walks the sideline and gets away with it. Up to Free. Chaney staying with him tough. Free, look at the arm reach of Chaney, but he committed the foul as he made body contact. You see that? Free went up, and he just kept going up, and Chaney's arm was still up above him.
The key to that play is watch as Lloyd Free goes up. He goes also into Don Chaney. He created the contact, and that's what Don Chaney looked to the official. He didn't say anything. He's got a great attitude out there.
He'll have 3 to make 2. There's the average of Lloyd Free. He and Gervin in quite a struggle to win that scoring title.
I don't know how anybody can catch George Gervin.
I don't either. What did he get, 55 the other night?
55. 2 times this month he's been in 50. This new year in 1980, of course, 9 games, he's averaging 40 points a game.
There's Bird. The tough defense by Wicks, and Bryant reached in and batted that away.
Bird is such an excellent passer. He tries a little too tough pass every now and then. Like that time, trying to get it down the lane with 8 arms in there is a little tough.
The Archibald is back in, so he's really gotten it up today. Rick Roby also checks back in for the Celtics. This is a three-point play.
Well, we're seeing it, and the two premier shooters in the league haven't made any yet.
Yeah, they're going to save it to the second half. We understand they don't have a league record right now, to our knowledge, how many has been hit in a game. We could set one here today. So pushing and shoving, and Carr is caught. ML Carr picking up the foul, reaching in on Wicks, and again, of course, a penalty in.
Carr not happy with that call, and sometimes when you play really aggressive defense like Carr was that time, he was all over the place. There doesn't have to be much contact at all. It just looks like you're fouling.
Sidney Wicks, there's only been one missed foul shot all day long, so they've been converting well from the free throw line. One thing about Carr is he plays with enthusiasm. He loves to play this game.
He really does, and that's what the great element that he's added to this team. Of course, Dave Cowens, nobody plays harder than Cowens, so they really have blended well.
You know, Wicks is shooting only 50% from the line, but he can those. 55-49. Archibald using a pick. Here's Cheney. And Don gets that one to go.
He's not your usual outside shooter, but the play was set up for him, and it paid off.
They'll let him take that shot, feeling that that's a better percentage. At that time, it backfired for San Diego. Free trying to shake somebody. Bird jumps out on him. Archibald has all 5 players trying to pick him up on that. Rebound, Bryant. Leaning in, and nice play.
Oh, beautiful job by Bryant. Went way up in the air to get that offensive rebound.
6-point lead for the Celtics. Cheney going to try another one. Why not?
Hey, he's got the feeling. Let me have it, partner.
6 points for Cheney, who's only averaging 2.5 a game. 59-51. Free off to Wicks. Traffic inside, and they stepped on the baseline. It'll be Boston's basketball.
It's one of the things that you don't often see Lord Free passing the ball, but he drove the lane, drew about 3 guys to him, and made a nice pass to Sidney Wicks, who bounced it on the baseline.
Crowd starting to pick up a little bit now. 1:12 remaining in this first half. Taylor trying to stay with Tiny. Off to Cheney. 3 in a row, maybe? Nope. Roby follows, and he was wide open on that follow tip.
Swen's got to have contact inside. Got to lean your body on that guy, Roby, to keep him off the boards. Swen let him go.
10 points now for Rick Roby. He had 24 points in his first start since Cowan's absence this week, as Wicks tries one. Roby comes out of the pack, and they're all jumbled up there. Bird hustling down. Larry Bird, great effort. Look at that pass. Roby then will be called for fouling as he tries to reach over Sidney Wicks.
The place would have gone wild if Roby had made that jump shot after that beautiful pass by Larry Bird. No look over the head. Watch this pass as he came into the lane. He saw Roby cutting by him. Nobody expected that pass, and that's probably why Roby missed the shot. He didn't expect it at all.
You know, that puts a lot of pressure on a shooter when somebody makes a great pass like that, doesn't it?
That's right, and you know what happens? You just know that the fans are starting to leave their chairs. They're getting up, they're halfway up, ready to just burst out with the applause, and you say, I've got to make this shot. That's right, it looked like it came out a little bit tight out of his arm that time.
All right, Wicks at the line again, and he's kind of homesteading it. As we mentioned, he has not been a good free throw shooter. He worked hard during the summer. I guess Pete Newell worked with him, trying to improve his game. As a rookie, he averaged almost 25 points a contest.
Yeah, it's hard to believe Sidney has really come down his game. He's really working hard, and I give him a lot of credit for that work that he's doing. He's got a little way to go.
61-52. Archibald off to Maxwell. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Reaching in very quickly is Bryant, and he comes away with it, and he's fouled in the backcourt.
Good defensive job that time by Bryant Nader down there, not letting Maxwell go where he wanted to with that ball. That's the tough D they've got to play.
Pitch didn't like that at all because they were trying to kill a little time. All of a sudden, they didn't even get a shot away.
Well, yeah, you want them to kill the time and then get the shot. They killed the time real well, but then when you don't come up with the shot, the coach isn't too pleased.
San Diego kind of staying in this game a little bit at the free throw line.
With the unique style of Joe Bryant shooting his free throws just a second ago on that shot we had his feet. Most players put their right foot in front of their left, a right-handed player. Free has it just, Joe Bryant has it just the opposite with his left foot forward.
Standing very closely together, I think it'd be tough to keep your balance.
It's almost an off-balance shot when you're shooting it that way.
Look at that. Last 3 games, he had 17 rebounds in 1 game. 61, 54, 14 seconds. Cheney to Archibald. San Diego, believe it or not, is 18 of 20 from the free throw line. Here's Cheney. Free brings it down. 3 seconds. You see it on the screen. 3-pointer is good by Taylor. Brian Taylor, who we mentioned is leading the entire NBA in 3-point attempts, or I should say made and attempts for that matter.
Oh, look how far out this shot was. If they had a 4-pointer, that would definitely be it, wouldn't it? Way outside. Watch as the clock goes off, that ball goes through. A beautiful shot by the #1 with attempts in the game.
Well, Keith Erickson, you look at the stats in this first half of play, and there's some things that really jump out at you. First, I think, from the field, Boston 49%. On the other hand, only 40% for the San Diego team. But look at the free throw situation. 20 free throws made for San Diego, only 6 for Boston.
That's right. 6 attempted. They shot 1,000%. San Diego 20 out of 22. That's the big reason they're in this ball game.
Plus one other stat that we were building as the first half wore on, the rebounding situation.
That's right. 30-17 for Boston. Boston has 15 offensive rebounds.
And there's the scoring. You see Free and Smith carrying their basketball team. Smith started them out very quickly, and look at Larry Bird.
He's doing it all.
Roby playing very well despite the groin injury. Back door. And a good follow that time by Wicks.
Oh, that was a sensational tip. I don't know how he even got his hand on the ball. Reached back with his left hand and tipped that ball in.
In the first half, the Celtics led by as many as 10 points. And all of a sudden, that lead has been whittled down to 2. 61-59. Archibald with 3 on him. Here's Roby with 10 points. Out to Ford. He didn't play a lot. He picked up 3 quick fouls in that first half, and he was on the bench. Bird with 23. That is a difficult shot at best, but the clock was running down. Ford follows.
Larry Bird is so smart. To see that time he wanted to shoot that ball so it would bounce off to a teammate.
That's the first 2 points of the game for Chris Ford, to show you how little play he had in that first half. Here's Bingo Smith. He had San Diego started very quickly in this game, hitting a couple of 3-pointers outside. Free backing in on Ford. He's trying to get that 4th foul from him, and did he do it? He did. That's 4 fouls.
Now they called an offense on Lloyd that time.
They called it on Free.
You don't see that very often, but I think it was a good call that time. Free really has a tendency to lean into the defensive man.
Up to this point, San Diego has scored 8 straight unanswered points. And Archibald nails it from outside. And all of a sudden here they come back down to Taylor. And there was the case of Archibald was caught napping. Didn't get back.
He sure was. Boy, when you the transition, you've got to get back on defense and turn around, be expecting whatever's coming the other way.
And so now San Diego on the errant pass, they take it over. A lot of turnovers in that first half of play. Had 11 for Boston, 6 for San Diego. 65-61. Here's Taylor with Archibald on him. Free, Ford picking him up. Bingo Smith, and he is deadly from there.
He is, and he had a big double pick that time. Sidney Wicks and Nader set that right in the lane, and you can't leave Bingo Smith alone.
Boy, that 33-year-old former Tulsa standout can still shoot the basketball. Archibald looking for Roby inside. Here it goes to Roby. Nader, and nice hook by Rick Roby.
Right hand that time. As you said so well in the first half, he does it ambidextrous inside.
12 points now for the former Kentucky All-American. Free, he's going to put one up. And those are the usual results.
Yeah, that's right. Boy, when he gets that ball, he is really tough.
2-point lead, Ford having Taylor on top of him. Roby, look at the hustle by Bingo, and it's off of Boston. Timeout. It'll be San Diego's ball, and we have a timeout as Gene Chu's team trailing by only 2 points after dropping behind 10 points in that first half of play. We'll be back in a moment. With Keith Erickson, I'm Gary Bender. 9:44 to go. Third quarter. 2-point game here. The Celtics with the advantage, and Swin Nader bringing it down for the San Diego Clippers. Same 5s that opened the ball game and also started the second half are in now as we come back into play. Wicks to Nader. Ford brings it out to Archibald. Nader not too happy. I'm sure he felt he should have had that one. Here's Bird inside. That's a tough shot. Have to hang in the air like that.
You bet it's tough, and to try to get that touch from just 3 feet, really difficult.
Bingo Smith wheeling in. Oh, that is another tough shot. Here's Bird bringing it down, and they have 3-on-2. Archibald, and he hits the deck again. That guy's on the floor more than anybody in the league.
Boy, he sure is. And that hurts. You've got the flu and you've got a banged up knee in the first half and you go down again.
Bingo Smith back to the other end again, and Bird keeps it in play off to Archibald. Archibald to Ford, and they're running the ball right now. Chris Ford will have another crack at it. Off to Roby. Bird, very good ball movement.
Oh, how about that pass? 4 passes that were just beautiful, moving that ball around. That's what Dave Cowens talked about at halftime. We've got to execute, and they're playing together as a team beautifully.
Bill Fitch, I think, brought that point up at halftime, evidently, didn't he? 14 points in the game for Roby, but beautiful, beautiful ball movement that time by Boston. Swin Nader, Roby picking him up. Here's Taylor. Archibald staring him in the face. Only 3 seconds on the shot clock. 2 seconds. 1, and he double dribbled the ball.
Good defense by Maxwell behind him that time. Archibald came over and cut him off so Sidney couldn't swing into the lane.
There's Gene Shue, second year. He was a runner-up for Coach of the Year in the NBA. 14th year in the NBA. Well, he had some fine success in Philadelphia and Baltimore. Bird, a little too fancy that time.
That's right. He wanted to pass the ball to Maxwell, who was cutting down the lane that time.
Bill Fitch did not like that at all, as they have 13 turnovers in this game.
He likes most of the other things that Bird has done this game, though, I'll guarantee you.
I think they'll keep him.
Yeah, they probably will.
Free with Ford on him. Boy, that is so pretty, the way he uses the glass.
It really is. They cleared aside that time. One-on-one, he's unstoppable.
He has 23 points. Archibald rejected by Wicks. Bird off to Archibald again. And Roby's in there. The multiple shots by Boston is paying off.
Going to the boards, just dominating the boards at both ends.
The San Diego climbed within 2. All of a sudden is down 73-67. Free looking for points 24 and 25, and he got them.
Unbelievable. Lloyd Free came into the lane, no help that time. Chris Ford just can't handle him by himself.
There's Archibald with Free on him. Free, a big, strong guy, as we mentioned, jumps so well and yet has the great touch. Here's Bird, 6'10" against 6'6", and we have a foul on Bingo Smith, trying to keep him from going inside.
Well, he really banged him that time. Bird had good position down low when he started to turn for that shot. Bingo will let him have it in the back.
That's what makes Bird effective, isn't it, Keith? He's 6'10", and he doesn't really play the power forward, so you got a small forward trying to pick him up.
That's right. He's always moving. He's not like a big guy that just comes down and sets up in the lane. Moves, and he passes that ball so well. And when he finally does set up down low at 6'10", 6'5" guard just can't guard him.
You see what he's done today, 25 points. He's headed for a big afternoon. 75-69, pressure put on now by the Celtics, and it precipitates a turnover. Archibald, and wasn't too many passes that time.
That brought Bill Fitch to his feet in disgust. How can you guys do this to me out here?
Bill Fitch realizes they got to stay in this thing until they get everybody healthy, and he doesn't want this one to get away from him with 6:58 to go in the third quarter. Well, the Boston Celtic tradition has always been rich, and it could even get richer with this guy, Pistol Pete Maravich, who'll soon be wearing that green and white. Realize today's their 18th sellout of the year and 26 home games.
And you know, in their history here in Boston Garden, they've never done that before.
I didn't realize that.
That's right.
Even with all those winning teams.
All of those winning teams this year.
Cowens and Maravich are going to create some interest. They get in there as a pair. And we have a foul. Maxwell reaching in on Sidney Wicks, and Bob Rakel spots him, and that's his second personal.
Maxwell can't believe that he was called that time. He was just trying to put his arm up. Sidney kept knocking it away, and Maxwell got the foul.
75-69 in this third quarter. That's our score with 6:45 to go in it. Free picked up by Ford. Off to Wicks. Boy, they push him way outside. There's Maxwell reaching in. He is really hounding Sidney Wicks.
He really is. He's got some long arms. Gets his hands on a lot of ball, and that's what makes him so effective on the offensive boards.
I think the Celtics have the corner in the market. They have Maxwell, Cheney, who have the long arms, and ML Carr.
That's right.
Here's Free, and look at that jumper. That's a tough shot.
Oh, I'll tell you, it's tough. That's an understatement right there.
But he just shoots it right in your face. 75-71 as Free continues to mount the points. Here's Larry Bird, and he comes back and answers it.
It's like Bill Fitch is telling him, you've got the hot hand, my man. You've got to shoot that shot.
He has 27 points. Larry Bird headed for a big afternoon. You know, his biggest of the year was 32. So he is right on track to having his best day of the season. Swin Nader, and he hasn't been scoring much, but now has 7.
That was a good-looking hook shot by Swin that time. First time he's had that good a position in the lane.
Wicks getting down quickly on Maxwell. He walked with the ball, and that'll give it back to San Diego as Joe Bryant now will check in. And Bingo Smith will check out for the Clippers.
San Diego's going to try and equalize the board strength of Boston. They've got their big 3 players in there now. Nader at center, Wicks and Bryant at forwards.
And this is Taylor with Archibald on him. Taylor going in. See Bird support under there defensively. Out it comes to Wicks. And Sidney Wicks can't get it. Bird and Roby crash the boards and a foul. I think Nader reaching over committed the foul.
He definitely reached over that time. Nader is on the right side of our screen down in the bottom. You see Roby getting pushed under the basket. And the foul was called right there on the jump, not even on the push.
I don't think a lot of people are aware that Bird is 9th in rebounding in the NBA. You don't expect that for him somehow, but there was a good example. That'll be off of San Diego. Boston will inbounds the ball. Roby to do it. Look at this. Boy, it's getting close in San Antonio, isn't it?
San Antonio is coming back.
Archibald. Boy, they caught him napping, and Free is unhappy with himself. He lost contact with him.
He did. You've also got to get a little help inside.
10 points in the game now for Tiny Archibald. Free with 4.90. Ford at 6'5", trying to stay in the face of Free. With that great jumping ability of his, that's tough to do. There's another one. Nader pushing off, and that's going to be another foul on Swin.
Swin didn't even turn around that time to see who the foul was on. He just knew it. He said, oh, no. Let's pick up Swin in the lane that time with Roby doing his best to keep Swin out of there.
Look at Bird pushing out of there, too.
That's right. A lot of contact inside. These guys are big and strong.
4:50 to go, third quarter. And there was Taylor. He got a hand on it. It'll be off of him. Boston will inbounds it. 14 seconds on the shot clock.
That's how good these basketball players are. That time, Taylor got his hand on the ball. He didn't even know it was coming.
Here's Archibald directing traffic as we have 8 seconds on the shot clock. Ford to Bird. Bryant couldn't do anything with him.
That's just unbelievable, that play. He gave the fake pass. Both players went with the fake, and he just dropped it through.
29 points now for the Bird. He won the foul there. Bryant going to put one up, try to match his basket. Doesn't do it. Nader can't come up with it, and Free has it. They reset the shot clock. Taylor out to Free. Free wants to shoot again. Look at him. He gets that ball down like that. You know where he's going with it. He got that one off, and it was partially blocked. Roby had it for a moment. Wicks tries to board with it, and Bird comes away with it. Tough inside.
I should say, Bird behind his back dribble, bringing that ball down the floor.
Tiny's going inside. He scored 2 underneath now.
Yeah, smallest man on the floor. Very surprising to see him get alone inside.
San Diego has asked for a timeout. Game 2 not happy with what's happening out there.
Take another look. Lloyd Free gave up the baseline. He just took it to the other side. The big men were boxed out. They couldn't help out. For our fans, watch Tiny Archibald's left elbow right there, and Lloyd Free complaining about the elbow and the solar plexus. No call. Archibald takes the baseline. Look at the Boston players on the inside. No help, and that's why they're killing them on the offensive boards.
They led 30-17 at halftime in the rebounding department. We're now at the biggest lead of this game again at 10 points. Earlier, the Celtics led by 10, and the Celtics have led ever since it was tied up 16-all in the early going. But the way San Diego can score points, Bill Fitch is very concerned.
Well, he should be. Lloyd Free can get him just about at will, and the free throw line has been what's kept San Diego in the game.
Bingo Smith back in. Here's Free, picked up by Chris Ford. Bingo, three-pointer.
And that's what we're talking about.
What's that, 3 for him today?
That's right.
3 three-pointers. He has 19 points, and they cut it to 8. Archibald with Free on him. Larry Bird having a sensational game. He has 29 points. Maxwell is fouled by Bryant. No, Maxwell called with a foul.
That's right, and that was a good call, too, as Maxwell got position inside. He tried to swing to his left. We'll be able to pick it up here. Now watch his left elbow and his left arm come underneath Bryant right there. Hooked him. Beautiful camera work and a great call by the official.
So that gives the ball back to the Clippers, who'd like to cut it down to 6 into Nader. Nader with that right-handed hook and battle underneath. Bryant had it for a moment, and here comes Archibald. And Roby has to chase it down. Ford, three-point play. And there he is, Mr. Automatic. He was 4 of 5 last Sunday against Seattle.
And you can hear the response of the fans. They've come to not only appreciate that, but to expect it out of Chris Ford.
You know, the interesting thing, he's hit at least one three-pointer in 17 of the last 19 games.
That's phenomenal. That's great shooting. And the incredible statistic, Gary, what we were talking about, I mentioned earlier that he's shooting 48% from the three-point range, and he's shooting 47% overall, higher from farther outside.
Most guys that take 47% in any shooting situation. Right. Here's Archibald off to Roby. There's that left-handed hook of his, trying to keep it in play, but Nader gets the best of it this time. Off it comes. Taylor, and Taylor quickly got down for that one.
That was a beautiful pass by Nader. Only a quick man could have caught up with that ball.
Back at the other end, though, and Roby walked with the ball. He was intimidated by Swin Nader, so Nader making two fine plays back-to-back for San Diego. 86-78. You look at Swin. Out of UCLA, he's been in a backup role, and he really hasn't been appreciated very much, but this year he's come on his own. 7th in the NBA in field goal percentage, 2nd in rebounding. Bingo with Bird. Boy, Bingo is on fire here this afternoon.
Oh, we've said it many times. He can really shoot that ball.
21 points for Bingo Smith. He's 2 points below his seasonal high. 6-point lead all of a sudden, and San Diego's kind of pecking away at it. They're coming back. Roby into Maxwell. Back to Rick Roby. Roby again. He's going to try until he gets it right. He's going to go again, and he's fouled by Swin Nader.
Oh, that's a tremendous job by Rick Roby, going to the offensive boards, coming up with 2 offensive rebounds, 3 actually. Finally putting that ball underneath, and Swin Nader fouled him. Got to give him credit for the effort. One time from the outside, and then he comes to the board. He'd already missed one from the outside, came in, and that was his 3rd.
And that is the 4th foul on Swin Nader. Nader having his hands full of Rick Roby. He's going to check out, and Sidney Wicks will replace him. You know, you have those days sometimes, Keith, where things just don't work for it.
That's right. That's the kind of a day Swin is having. He's going to be so happy to see Bill Walton come back. He's really been carrying a load.
Can he play a power forward, you think, and go along with Bill Walton?
Well, I'm sure that we'll see. I really don't know.
So the lead goes back to 8 for Boston with 1.5 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. 18 points in the game now. For Rick Roby. Wicks brings it out now to Bryant. Here's Ford bringing it down. The Celtics getting rebounding from all 5 of their players. ML Carr.
That was a beautiful fast break, but you've got to credit Tiny Archibald for that sensational pass. A bounce pass, real low. That's the only way it could have gone through.
You see how quickly Carr went to the board with it. So it's back to 10. 3rd time in this game they've led by 10. 3-point play by Taylor. Bird, look at him crash the boards. Ford comes away with it. Off to Archibald. And another pass to Roby. He almost pulled it off, and he's fouled by Bingo Smith. Roby had a very difficult play, and he almost got a 3-point play out.
He sure did. Very close, and a great pass again by Archibald coming down. Ford gives the ball up. That's what you're supposed to do. Ford made a nice play, and Archibald, beautiful pass through 2 San Diego defenders, and Roby almost knocked it in.
You know, we mentioned Roby has 18 points, but to go along with that, he also has 14 rebounds. And he's had to play that way because Cowan's out of there. He was the man, and he is going to be quite a player. 12-point lead, the biggest lead of the game now for the Boston Celtics. Taylor, Archibald on him. Well, they cut it to 6, and all of a sudden it's back to 12. And that foul is going to go on Archibald.
This is really a game of spurts.
Roby's going to leave, and this crowd applauding his play. Eric Fernston has checked in to replace him. Well, what a job by Rick Roby. There's Wicks, and he walked with the ball. Those are why she's done that.
Those are the kind of mistakes that will really kill a basketball team trying to get back into the game. Turnovers, oh, they'll make it Coach Gray real fast.
A 12-point lead for the Boston Celtics. Fernston, who played last year in Italy. Got to see more and more time now with the injury to Cowens. He played pretty well Friday night in that game against Washington. Bird with a tough shot. Fernston trying to come away with it, and it's going to be San Diego's basketball.
Almost, but you give him credit. Fernston and ML Carr going to the offensive boards.
Fernston Played his collegiate basketball at San Francisco, third-year man. He's 6'10". He was the 4th draft pick of Cleveland in 1975. Free now trying to set it up. They're going for the last shot of the third quarter. Ford is playing him tough out there. And just like that, with 2 seconds left in this third quarter, he nails it. And so they cut the lead to 10. The Clippers on 3 occasions have trailed by 10, by as many as 12, as we have 12 minutes left to decide the issue here at the Boston Garden. All right, we have 12 minutes left in this game. 92-82, a 10-point lead for the Celtics. Larry Bird trying to add to it. Swin Nader brings it down. Nader playing with 4 personal fouls. Off it comes to Freeman Williams. San Diego has been able to fight back, only to drop behind 10, as many as 12 points, and that's where they are now, and Bird is fouled free.
One thing that Larry Bird does very well, when a player is coming to the basket like that and he's beating his man, he makes sure that the guy's not going to make the basket. He doesn't try to hurt the player, but watch on this foul right here. He just makes sure there's no way, Lloyd, that you're going to make 2 points on that.
2 free throws coming for Lloyd Free, and he won't get that one.
So instead of a 3-point play, now he's at the maximum, can only get 1 point out of it.
And he does that. Lloyd Free with 30 points for the afternoon. 92-83. Roby off to ML Carr. What a game Roby has played. He's given Swin Nader fits. Ford, a little bit difficulty. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Roby off to Ford. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Roby with 3 seconds on the shot clock. He just got it underway. Good defense by San Diego. Ford follows. And Nader, just with good tenacity, comes out of there with it. And wide open all by himself, Freeman Williams.
Where's the defense?
I don't know. I think they were too busy trying to get the ball in the hole.
They were all going to the offensive boards. One of the players has got to notice that and get back defensively.
Now, there was a case of Nader just toughing it out there and got the job done. He's played very well now in the last 5-6 minutes. Look at that rebound lead that Boston has. It was 30-17 at halftime. 92-85. Roby, 1 second on the shot clock. They didn't get it away, and that's 2 times now, Keith, that San Diego has applied the defense.
That's right. It's about time San Diego starts applying some defense. I'm sure Gene Shue is telling them, that's what we've got to do, fellas. Tighten up defensively and block out on those boards.
Jeff Judkins getting ready to come in. He had 15 points in 10 minutes Friday night against Washington. He's the young man from Utah who they're getting ready to bring into the action. Here's Bryant, picked up by Larry Bird. 8 seconds on the shot clock at the other end. Bryant leans in, and Bird comes away with it. Out it comes to Ford. Beautiful play to Archibald.
The same thing happened to San Diego that time as happened to Boston a minute ago. A 4-on-1 fast break. You can't give up plays like that.
Archibald with 14 points. Gene Shue asks for timeout. So the Clippers at the 9:59 mark want to regroup. They were making a little bit of a run, but all of a sudden they did get a couple of shots to drop for them. 94-85. The Clippers would like to break that 5-game losing streak. Kind of been a month of streaks as far as San Diego is concerned. They won 6 in a row. Now they've dropped 5 in a row, and they'd like to start on the winning side of the ledger, but they have their work cut out. You see Jeff Judkins in. That's an interesting move by Bill Fitch to bring him into the game.
It is, especially since he's going to be guarding Lloyd Free. He wants to try somebody fresh, see if he can cool Free off a little bit.
Judkins at 6'6" has a height advantage. Here's Swin Nader, and out to Bryant. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Broken up by ML Carr. Great hands by Carr. Archibald, Bird, he just goes down the middle.
That's just Celtic tradition right there. Beautiful job by Archibald bringing the ball down. Both wingmen were covered that time, and Bird did a fine job cutting down the lane.
He is 1 point short of his career high in the NBA. He has 31 points. Here's Bryant. Bird got a hand on it. And wait a minute, Bird and Bryant a little upset after that play, kind of pushing each other.
That's right. Bryant held on to Bird's hand that time. He couldn't get away.
Bryant hit it dead center. Bird, and he now has a career high of 33 points.
That's the best way to do your talking out there. Instead of getting physical, just say, hey, take this.
Good point.
Knock it down.
Freeman Williams out to Bryant. Bryant and Bird having quite a confrontation, and he got him that time. Larry Bird committing the foul.
He sure did. His 4th personal foul. Bryant did a nice job that time getting Bird off his feet. That's one of the things that the defenders should always do is stay down when they're giving those fakes.
Bird, as I said, is 9th in the NBA in rebounding. He has averaged 10.5 a game. He has 7 today, and he's going to leave for a while. I think Bill Fitch sensed he was a little bit ornery out there. A little bit heated. So they let him sit down and kind of relax a little.
That's right. And Fitch is over talking to him right now. And that's really a good point that you made, Derek. He's a young man coming into the league. He's got a lot to learn. Fitch just swung his arm down there, telling him you don't swing down when you're playing defense on a man on the outside. Keep the hands straight up.
A lot to learn in this game of basketball. I'm sure you can attest to that.
No question about it. Bird has a very fine instinct for the game.
He's a competitor.
It won't take him long.
10-point lead for the Celtics. That's Judkins. Rebound by Nader. Nader starting now to be a force on the board. Off it comes to Williams. Judkins on in. They're having a tough time getting that ball inside now. Free's going to go to work. They're getting dribble the ball. Bingo Smith comes away with it. Nope, that is in the corner. Williams. Nader and a foul, and Nader's called for pushing off, and that is 5 personal fouls on him.
Nader can't believe it that time. Maxwell really flew into the lane as if he had been pushed. Let's watch down low right there. I didn't see a whole lot of push right there.
I didn't either. Looked to me like they were both jockeying for position.
That's right.
So it's still a 10-point lead for the Celtics. 8:13 to go. A lot of time. Look, we have mismatch here. Nader chasing Archibald. That's much, Jeff, isn't it? Up it comes to Maxwell, and he's fouled. That's Nick Weatherspoon, who just checked in, the former Illinois standout. Weatherspoon was the starter first of this year. Bingo Smith came in, and he hasn't been in that starting lineup.
That's exactly right. Good play that time by the Celtics when they had the mismatch. The small man guarding Rick Roby inside. Lloyd Free had him. They swung that ball around, got it in there. He had to move outside, dropped it into Maxwell.
Maxwell now with 9 points. Also checking in is Steve Malovich out of San Diego State. Archibald checks out of the game with 14 points, and Henderson is in for it.
It's one of the things how the Celtics have improved this year, Gary. Last year they were a group of individuals. They didn't play together. They weren't a smart basketball team. This year they're probably the smartest team in the league and more willing than any other team to give that ball up to the teammate.
And you give a lot of credit to Mr. Fitch.
That's right.
12-point lead. That matches the biggest lead of the game. Lloyd Free with Henderson on him. Here's Spoon, Weatherspoon, and he walked to the ball.
He did. Tommy Nunes right on the play. He caught it. Had Spoon gone up with that shot, it would have been blocked. He just took a little tiny step, hoping he could get away with it. Fisher was right there.
He was the comeback story of the year last year. He averaged almost 14 points a game for San Diego. This year down to 7. To mention not getting the minutes that he was earlier. Reaching in, Williams, and it's off of Judkins, and it's going to be San Diego's ball. There's Shue. Turnovers in the game. Boston now with 20. San Diego with 12. Ryan Taylor. Taylor taking Henderson in. That's an excellent move, and he's been fouled.
Taylor's got tremendous quickness. Henderson is a good quick player too. But when a player gets a half a step on you, it's all over unless you get help inside.
And so going to the line will in fact be Taylor. 6'2", 8-year man, 28 years old. He signed a 3-year pact with this team after leaving Denver in 77-78 after 39 games on a contract dispute, and didn't play basketball for 1 full year. He now has 14 points. 10-point lead again. It's been a tough uphill struggle for the San Diego team after being tied up 16-all early in the game. Roby, Malovich is on him. Here's ML Carr. What a pass to Roby. The basket will count, and he's fouled. Beautiful pass by Carr.
Oh, it was gorgeous. That's what I was just talking about, Gary, how they're so willing to give the ball up to a teammate. A lot of teams, when a player gets the ball in the lane, Henderson with the ball on the outside, he makes a nice pass over to Roby. That's how they give this ball up. Roby gives the ball to ML Carr. Carr comes into the lane. A lot of players, when they get that close to the basket, just want to put it up. Beautiful teamwork, and a nice left-handed shot by Roby again.
Roby now with 23 points after that three-point play. 103-90. 7 minutes to go. That, by the way, gives them the biggest lead of the game, 13 points. Here's Nick Weatherspoon.
A lot of players going for their career highs out here.
Well, Bird has already gotten his.
Roby will have his high is 24.
That's Roby's fourth foul, by the way. I think Roby is going to just get better and better the way things are going for him. 24 points in a game. He started during the week. Got hurt Friday, didn't score a lot, but he's back today. Weatherspoon to Malovic. Malovic started the year with the Washington Bullets. Bingo Smith, a running jumper. Rebound, Maxwell. But it's a tough shot when you try to hang and suspend yourself and get the touch. Weatherspoon touches that, it'll be Boston's ball.
Maxwell is so loose. He started to throw that pass and his elbow went all the way down the floor. He just held that ball back with his hand.
And Roby goes out. 23 points, one below his high for this year. He'll sit down as Fernston has replaced him. 14 rebounds.
And a great ovation by the fans here in the Garden, really appreciating the play that he's doing, filling in for Dave Collins.
6.5 minutes to go in this game. Nader will baseline on Fernston. Going to have a change. Let's see. There's Fernston. Weatherspoon's going to sit down as we have some changes in the San Diego lineup. Off it comes ML Carr, picked up by Free. Carr doing it all.
That's a smart play by ML right there with a mismatch. Lloyd Free can't guard him. He just took the ball, turned around and shot it right on.
On the move, Freeman Williams. Williams not getting a lot of scoring done today. Here's Carr off to Henderson. Henderson to Fernston. And Maxwell is there again inside. Fernston tries to follow. It's getting a little rugged inside. Here comes Williams again. Nice pass to Free. Free against Maxwell, and he fouled him.
Oh, that was a beautiful block by Cornbread. Lloyd Free's got to think twice when a man has the arms the length of Cornbread Maxwell.
I don't think he thinks anybody can block that shot.
No, he sure doesn't. He's setting him up right here. He doesn't realize the arm length. He went up without a fake. He ordinarily gives a couple of fakes and frees himself for that shot. Maxwell was right with him that time, blocked it, but the contact was made by Lloyd again, and the foul on Maxwell.
That's the fourth on Cedric Maxwell, and now Free with 31 points, and he's right at his seasonal average.
It's not too bad.
Nope, pretty consistent. For a guy that was hurting before this game, he has 32 points.
That's right.
He came back to play. 105-92. Carr is fouled by Brian Taylor. You know, when Carr comes in there, he just generates so much enthusiasm, just his attitude.
That's exactly right. It's really contagious. Very valuable acquisition in the offseason.
Inside, 6 minutes remaining in this game. 105-92. Taylor playing Henderson tough, trying to get around Fernston's pick. Carr back to Fernston. Again, Carr setting him up.
That's right. The beautiful teamwork by these players. Fernston not even a regular, and he's just blending right in.
I think it's contagious. You're playing well, and you can't wait to get off that bench and contribute.
That's right.
Malovic off to Williams. Freeman Williams. Three-point play. Rebound by Nader. Nader, and he got that one to go.
Continuing that thought, Gary, about contributing coming off the bench, and it doesn't have to be in points. It can be in any way. The attitude of an ML Carr, passing ability, rebounding. It all adds up.
Look at that cat and mouse game out there. Henderson trying to use the pick of Fernston. Maxwell, Judkins, 6 seconds on the shot clock. Carr broken up, and Taylor saves it in. He might have been better advised to let that go because I think it was touched last by Boston.
That's right. Tough play, and not only when you throw that ball back in down there at Boston's end, it's just liable to go to one of the Celtics who might have an easy shot.
They're going to reset the clock at 6 seconds, 5 I should say, because of being touched by a defensive player. Judkins, and Judkins is fouled by Nader.
Not a good foul by Swen that time.
And he is fouled out of the ball game.
And he's really upset. He's frustrated. When you've got a man on the outside like that, Swen was trying to stay away. A little bit of body contact on the play. Judkins will go to the line, and Nader will go to the bench.
I thought he was going to go to the bench. He's still sitting out there. And that 6 on him. I don't think he wants to leave.
He's telling the official, I didn't do anything except stand there with my arms upraised, and that's what it looked like on the replay. But he got called.
They were going to have a sit-down strike there for a moment.
That's right.
So Nader fouls out. Penalty in. Judkins at the line, 3 to make 2.
Gary, one of the interesting stats here in the Boston Garden, where the Celtics have only lost 4 games on the year, when they've been ahead or tied at the end of the third quarter, their record is 33-2.
Amazing how this team has turned things around. You got to give a credit to Bird, to Fitch. Cowan's now not a player coach, but a player.
ML Carr, Archibald, Ford from the outside. You go right down the line because it's a team effort. Roby coming off the bench.
And they may be writing another chapter with Maravich. 109-94. They need the 3-point play. And look at that rainbow shot. And Bryant has a loose ball foul against him. I think Free got that ball about as high up on the arch as you can put one up. You know, we're talking about all those players contributing. You know, every Boston player has scored in this game.
That sure points it up well.
Total involvement as Bill Fitch talks it over with Henderson.
And you know, I feel that it's a shame that points are the main thing that people around the country go by, because that's the only stat that you get in the paper. You know, the team, I'm sure that they've all passed the ball to each other, and they've all said nice pass and patted each other, you know, after a nice play. And it's those things, the intangibles, which really make them a good team.
Well, the Celtics jokingly said we had given them the TV jinx. They'd lost the last 2 Sundays. They're trying to stop that today, and they are doing a pretty good job of that. They lost 2 heartbreakers here.
Now we might be invited back, right?
111-94, 4.5 minutes to go. As Judkins will inbounds the ball for the Boston Celtics. The Celtics trailing Philadelphia by half game in the Atlantic Division. A lot of people feel that Maravich could swing the balance between those two.
Boy, I think that Pete, this is just a new life for him coming here.
Henderson.
Especially what he's gone through, sitting on the bench for that long period of time. I think that he'd like to come in here and show that he can still play basketball.
And play with a contender, which he has not been able to do. Free is fouled by Maxwell.
Lloyd Free is just unbelievable going to the basket. He draws the foul so well. He's attempted more free throws than anybody else in the league. As he comes down the baseline, gets by one man. 2 other guys came over and picked him up, and you saw the body contact right there. He leads the league. I'm sorry, Gary. In points per game from the foul line. 8.8 points per game.
Larry Bird is in as Maxwell leads with 5 personal fouls. That's the 11th free throw attempt today for Free, to point up what you were saying.
Isn't that phenomenal?
Well, they had, what, 20 of 22 in the first half, which kept them in the game. The penalty, of course, in.
Lloyd has missed 2 in a row right here.
There's his average and point total, so he's right on the norm for his type of play. 113-95, 4:14 remaining. A little pressure now by the Clippers. Fernston off to Judkins. Judkins is the guy some people speculate may leave when Maravich is added to the team. Bird on the move. Larry Bird has already established a career high, now has 35 points for the afternoon.
Sensational move by Bird from the outside. Nice pass coming over the side. Malovic cuts off the baseline. Good one step to the right, down the middle, and hardly any help at all. Joe Bryant comes over, but he was very late. You've got to have somebody clogging the middle in there, so he's got to pull up on the outside.
Boy, if you were going to select an MVP today, you'd have to really consider Larry Bird, wouldn't you?
I should say. And as you say that, picks up a foul in the backcourt.
Despite that play.
And Bill Fitch is up off the bench, grabbing his head with both hands.
Well, that's 5 on Bird, so Maxwell and Bird both have 5 personal fouls, and I don't need to tell you, Celtics are depleted on that bench as it is.
Bill Fitch is watching Larry Bird walk down the floor, and he says, Larry, after that talk we had, after you came out the last time, how can you do it?
And a backcourt foul. That's right. 3 to make 2. Talk about a new lease on life. How about this guy, Bryant?
That's right. Coming out of Philadelphia, he was very unhappy on the bench there in Philly. Getting a lot more time in San Diego than he did in Philadelphia.
2-on-1. Malovic is back, but he can't stop Carr.
I thought the pass was a little bit late on that 2-on-1, but it sure paid off. The results were the same as had it been there early.
Lloyd Free driving Carr back in. There's Malovic out of San Diego State. Carr with a rebound. And here we go. Bird to Fernston, and that was a good team effort. Bird said, let the guy have it.
I'll tell you, very, very rarely do you see a play like that with two men going down and the other player giving it up to a teammate. That's really sensational. That deserves the applause that they're getting here in Boston.
That just adds another dimension of why Boston's successful.
Oh, I'll tell you, that gives me goosebumps seeing a play like that.
And the crowd is still applauding here. That unselfish play by Larry Bird.
That's right.
There is Henderson being fouled as he was double teamed. Oh, wait a minute. Henderson, I guess, pushing off. That's right. Henderson with a foul.
That was a tremendous defensive play by Lloyd Free and Brian Taylor, double teaming the ball that time in the switch after the pick. San Diego, if they had done that more often throughout this game, would be right in there.
Guess who's at the free throw line again?
Without even taking a peek, I'd have to guess Lloyd Free.
That's who it is. 120 to 99, and they're at the century mark now as Free drops it through. Free now with 34 and now 35 points. Question is, I wonder what Gervin got. He must have gotten 36. He just keeps the upper hand on him. Henderson inside, and he's fouled by Bryant. Henderson is really quick.
He sure is quick. San Diego has been playing terrible defense today.
And now coming in for the first time is Tan. I got to take a run at this one. Pat Cabbage out of Auburn, and Bird leaves. And a standing ovation here from this Boston Garden crowd. 36 points for Larry Bird.
Bill Fitz grabbed him as he was going by. He's got one final word for him over there. Don't foul in the backcourt like that anymore, Larry.
Boy, what an addition he is to the NBA.
Oh, you can hear in the background how much the fans appreciate his addition to this team and what he's meant for the franchise here in Boston.
16 sellouts, and a play like he made today, just that one play, I'll bring him back.
That's exactly right.
So Petkavich is now checked in for San Diego. He's the young man out of Auburn, second-year performer. Hasn't played all that much, averaging about 3 points a game.
He's a great shooter, though. One of the finest pure shooters you'll ever see shoot the basketball.
122 to 101, 3 minutes remaining in the game. A little pressure. Bryant breaks it easily. Bryant, a good ball handler for a big guy at 6'9". Here's Weatherspoon. Malovic brings it out. And here comes Judkins. Henderson for Carr, and they are working the break. Whoops, didn't get that one, but boy, they're moving the ball.
Oh, that's a shame. A beautiful fast break again. Great pass.
Freeman Williams. Williams just not getting that ball to go down for him today.
Let's try that fast break again.
Oh, boy, did Henderson get up in the air on that one.
It worked that time.
He's only 6'2", but he could have stuffed that one if he'd wanted to.
That's right. He can get up in the air.
Bryant, three-pointer.
Gene Shue told his team, I want a timeout out there, and nobody heard him. Or if they did, they didn't call it.
There's Freeman Williams. Bryant tries an underhand toss. Here comes Judkins to Henderson. And Judkins followed by Carr, and Carr can't get that ball to go right now. Here's Chaney. Tipped by Carr. And Bryant comes down with it as we're inside 2 minutes. And now Gene Shue gets the attention of his troops, and they have called a timeout. So the Boston Celtics are on their way to picking up a victory here in the Boston Garden. 1:57 left in this one. 124 to 101. And the Boston Celtics have done a little bit of everything today. You sum up this game, it's kind of a summary of the whole year. It's been a great team effort.
It sure has. This is a big game today for Boston. If Philadelphia loses today, Boston will take first place in the Atlantic Division.
And they're winning it without Dave Cowens, and they were concerned about that. They wanted to get to the All-Star break still in at least a commanding position or close to Philadelphia, and this game will help them. There's Bryant. Weatherspoon trying to follow. It is tough in there. Malovic comes away with it, and 2 points.
Nice effort going to the boards. A little bit late for that effort. San Diego has broken down defensively today. There are only 5 teams in the league that play worse defense through the season. Beautiful pass. Again, that passing is paying off. Burnson cutting the lane. Nobody helping out defensively.
And as an end result, the Celtics have 126 points.
That's right. San Diego gives up 111 as an average.
That's a nice pass on the baseline, but they can't get the ball to go down. Here's Henderson again. 1:11 left in the game. Off to ML Carr, a little head feint to Judkins.
Oh, that's beautiful, isn't it? That's a team player. I tell you, love to see it. That's the kind of a thing that makes a coach so excited, happy to be coaching a team.
Three-pointer by Bryant. Jelly Bean Bryant nails it. 16 points for Bryant. Bryant way above his average, averaging 10 a game. Henderson off to Fernston. Carr. Look at that ball handling by Carr, would you? Henderson. Fernston battling for it. Here comes Freeman Williams. Petkavich. And the rebound is going to be claimed by Judkins, as now it's a little fast and furious. Back to Henderson. One into the other. Carr pulls up. Alovic brings it down. So the Clippers are going to have lost their 6th in a row. This is the last game on a 6-game road swing. They'll be glad to get back home, and hopefully with the services of Bill Walton.
That's right. It won't be long.
Williams back to the other end. Fernston, Petkavich back. Nice pass that time to Freeman Williams. And that's just about going to do it. 128 to 108. Judkins, three-point play, and he got it.
That's a fitting finish in the Boston Garden.
That put the lid on it. Let's look at it.
Let's pick him up. Right behind that line. Oh, he might have just touched that line. Nevertheless, the ball went through and they gave him 3.
Judkins had a good game Friday night, and he comes back in here and again acquits himself very well. 131 to 108, and you look at the scoring in this game. Well, you got to think of Larry Bird with 36, and of course Lloyd Free himself coming in with 35.
Just a tremendous effort by Larry Bird today. His career high in the NBA, 36 points, and I'm sure before he's through it'll be much higher than that.